Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, the Nandi County Education Fund Amendment Bill 2024, second reading.
Who is the mover of the motion? Honorable Kiprop.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move the Nandi County Educational Fund Amendment Bill 2024, the second reading. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Education and vocation training and pursuant to the provision of the Standing Order 194 and as read together with item 2 of the second schedule of the Nandi County Assembly Standing Orders, consider the Nandi County Education Amendment Bill of 2024 as was committed to it on February 22nd, 2024. Pursuant to Article 196, 1B of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010, and as stipulated in Section 87, 1A and B of the County Government Act 2012, the Clerk of County Assembly invited various stakeholders and the public to attend and give their views at a public participation held on Friday, 1st March 2024. Members of the public were also requested to submit their views to the Office of the Clerk by Thursday, 5th March 2024, as hereby annexed. Establishment and mandate of the committee. Honorable Speaker, Standing Order number 194-1 as read together with paragraph 2 of the second schedule of Nandi County Assembly Standing Orders establishes the Committee on Education and Vocational Training faced with their mandate to consider all matters related to pre-primary education, youth polytechnics, home craft centers, child care facilities, and all matters related to technical and vocational education and training. The committee mandate, according to the Standing Order 194-5, states as follows: to study the program and policy objectives of the department and efficiencies of implementation. C, to study and review implementation, refer to it. Committee membership, Honorable Speaker, in the Department of Education, the Committee on Education and Vocation Training, as constituted by the House on 18 October 2022, comprises of the following members: Honorable Edwin Kiprop, I being the chairperson; Honorable Davis Bor, who is the vice person; Honorable Yitzhak Mosbey, member; Honorable Kipchumba Edwin Korir, member; Honorable Eliud K. Kirongo, member; Honorable Chepto Lydia, member; Honorable Ezra Kipchirchir Rotich, who is a member; Honorable Stancy Chepkemoi, member; Honorable Sarah Rubeti Keino, who is also a member in the State Department of Education. Honorable Speaker, acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, Education and Vocation Training Committee is grateful to the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk to the in the office. Education and Vocation Training Committee is grateful to the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk to the County Assembly for the unwavering support accorded during the committee sittings and extensive deliberation that were done. I wish to extend my utmost appreciation to the honorable members of the committee who put maximum effort that led to the preparation of the report. Honorable Speaker, to the general overview of the committee, the Nandi County Education Fund Amendment Bill of 2024 seeks to amend the Nandi County Education Fund Act 2016 number 1 of 2016 and to repeal and replace the Nandi County Education Fund Amendment Act of 2023. The Nandi County Education Fund Act 2016, number 1 of 2016, is amended in Section 5 to expand eligibility criteria and inclusivity in the awarding of education grants and bursaries. Clause 5 of the amendment bills expand the range of institutions eligible for funding to include those focusing on the dedicated to training students with disabilities, enhancing inclusivity, and ensuring equal opportunities in education. Clause 7 updates the tenure of the chairperson to 3 years with an option for renewal and sets the term for committee members at 4 years non-renewable to ensure the dynamism and fresh perspective in the management of the fund. Under Clause 9, the application process for finding bursaries is modernized, mandating that application forms be accessible online through the county's website and physical and designated county pickup points, thereby increasing accessibility and efficiency in application process. Clause 14 amends 25 of the Principal Act to include candidates from marginalized communities in Nandi as a special category in the selection process, promoting fairness and equity. Honorable Speaker, Clause 15 and 17 establish the proposed mechanism for the public to submit complaints regarding to the list of beneficiaries, ensuring transparency and accountability in the disbursement of the funds. Clause 18 ensures that the list of the beneficiaries is updated following the resolution of any complaints with disbursement to successful applicants on hold until complaint process is satisfactorily completed. Clause 19 mandates periodic public updates on the application process, and Clause 20 initiates an annual forum of the beneficiary and their guardians. Clause 21 introduces the mentorship and leadership empowerment program for fund beneficiaries aimed at developing well-rounded individuals equipped with the skills to succeed. Honorable Speaker, Clause 22 establishes the monitoring program to track the report of full scholarship awardness with provision for the corrective action to ensure that the best use of resources. Clause 24 set minimums award for partial scholarship, ensuring substantial financial support for the beneficiaries, reflecting the fund committed to the education. The second schedule is updated with the new application forms for full and partial bursaries as per Clause 25, streamlining the application process and ensuring clarity in the information required from applicants. These legislative amendments represent the comprehensive effort to ensure the effectiveness, inclusivity, and transparency of the Nandi County Education Fund, aiming to ensure equitable process of education opportunities to all residents of Nandi County. Views of the public participation. Honorable Speaker, the members of the public turn up for public participation list annexed has been gazetted. The following views were brought up concerning the bill. 1, that the term partial scholarship and bursary were used interchangeably in NASEF Act of 2016. There is need therefore to be consistent. 2, that in reference to the readiness of the complaints, the complaints committee, the influence of the CCM as well as the NASEF committee should be deleted. 3, that a clause should also be introduced to allow for those that were not identified as beneficiaries to input their grievances to the complaints of the committee. 4, the redress of the complaints committee membership is not clear and this should be corrected. 5, that the clauses that cause the county government of Nandi to enter into agreement with higher education loans board help to be deleted. Members felt that this is not important considering the current limitation of the bursary fund. Number 6, It was also proposed that the clause that introduced creation of the special purpose account purpose for overseas education be deleted from the amendment bill of 2024. This was given the considering the setbacks as has been encountered by other counties. Nandi should refrain from the same. Memorandum received. One memorandum was received at the Assembly on 4th March 2024 as attached with the same of its summarized content as follows. Honorable Speaker, that the section 2 of the amendment was not clear whether the amendment supersedes the interpretation in the main act. 2, that in section 5, the allocation proposed of 120 million was not clear. It could be indicated that the same was per financial year. 3, that proposed amendment to section 6B is deleted. 4, need for clarified for introduction of clause 4B and 4C. 5, that there is no justification for section 12(6)A in amendment bill since that the term of office started and arrangements for filling the position can be made before the terms lapses. 6, proposed deleting of the terms loan in the ending of part 4. 7, the memorandum also made proposal for rewarding of clause 20, Roman 3 and 22 of the amendment bill. Proposed 8, propose the need introduces the clause for an application who is dissatisfied with decision of the committee to make complaints to redress committee. 4, objective of the bill. Honorable Speaker, the Nandi County Education Amendment Bill seeks to amend the Nandi County Education Fund Act 2016 and to repeal the Nandi County Educational Fund Amendment Act of 2023. 2, the bill seeks to introduce an increase of the amount that shall be allocated to the scheme from what was the previous of 1%. 3, there shall be a deduction of 3% fund budget to defray administration cost of the fund. Honorable Speaker, the committee findings, the amendment bill seeks to introduce a global minimum figure that is to be allocated based on the budget for financial year 2023-2024, and the same can be increased yearly in the annual budget estimates. 5, the proposed amendment. The committee proposed the following amendments that shall be deliberated on the committee of the whole house. 1, the bill amendment in clause 2 as follows. A, deleting the following words in this act unless the context otherwise requires, and replacing therefore with the following words. Section 2 of the act is amended by introducing the following new definition immediately after the definition of equity. B, introducing the following definition immediately after the definition of access. Beneficiaries means a person who receives money from Nandi County Bursary Fund to pay for studies at a recognized education institution. C, introducing the following definition immediately after the definition of board. Bursary means an amount of money awarded to a student to pay for studies at a recognized education institution of learning. D, introducing the following phase immediately after the definition of full scholarship. Section 2 of the Act is further amended by introducing the following new definition immediately after definition of loan. E, clause 2 of the bill is amended by introducing the following new definition immediately after the definition of polling station. Scheme means the county education scheme established under Section 5 of this Act. F, definition of fund is deleted. The definition of polling station is also deleted. Definition of regulation is also deleted. The reason for proposing the deletion is that the words defined do not appear in the Act or in the bill. 2, the Act and the bill are amended by deleting the words fund as relates to Nandi County Education Fund, whereas it may appear and substituting therefore with the word scheme. 3. The Act is amended by deleting the words education grant, partial scholarship, and loans as relates to bursary wherever they may appear. The rationale for proposing the deletion of these words is that the objective of the Act and subsequent amendment do not provide the granting of either grants or loans. A partial scholarship is a bursary, thus there is no need to use in place of bursary. 4. Section 3 of the Principal Act is amended by deleting Section 3A in its entirely, substituting therefore with improved access to education by all residents of Nandi County by providing funds to grant full scholarship or bursaries. Deleting Section 3D in its entirely. The reason for deleting this provision is that it affects Section 197, Roman 1E of the Public Finance Management Committee, the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation. Clause 3 of the bill amended by deleting the word immediately after paragraph and substituting therefore with the adding of part 11 is amended by deleting the word fund and replacing with the word scheme. 7. Clause 4 of the Act is amended by deleting the words and in any event shall not be less than 120 million Kenya shillings and substituting therefore with the capital of the scheme for the financial year 2023-2024 shall be 150 million Kenya shilling, and the same shall be reviewed annually. Honorable Speaker, deleting clause 4.3 in its entirely, clause 5A is amended as follows by deleting the words appearing immediately after the number 6, by deleting the words education immediately after the secondary and substituting therefore with a school. Clause 5B deleting it in its entirely. The bill is amended by deleting clause 6 in its entirely. 11. Section 11 of the Act amended by introducing the following new section as 11A. The administration cost of the fund shall be a maximum of 3% of the approved budget of the fund. Clause 8 of the bill amended by deleting 6A and substituting therefore with 6.1. Clause 8 is further amended by deleting subsection 2 in its entirely. Section 18 of the Act is amended by introducing new clauses 18A. The Nandi County Education Fund Amendment Act 2023 is hereby repealed. Clause 9 of the bill is amended by deleting clause 9.2 in its entirely. Section 13(1)(c) of the Act is amended by deleting in its entirely. Section 15 of the Act is amended by 1. Deleting from paragraph 15(3) the word subject to the discretion of the County Executive Committee member and replacing with the words subject to being accorded a fair opportunity to be heard by the County Executive Committee member. 2. Deleting section 15(4) in its entirely. Section 16 of the Act, Honorable Speaker, is amended by introducing the following new paragraph as section 16A. Section 16A, there is established a committee to be known as the redress of the complaint committee, which shall consist of the redress committee, Honorable Speaker, shall consist of the vice chairperson of the County Education Fund Committee, who shall be the chairperson of the committee, the three person appointed by the county executive member in section 12(1)(d), the chief officer responsible for education, who shall be the secretary and an ex-official member to the committee, redress committee. 16. The committee shall resolve disputes arising from the award of bursary. The bill is amended in the adding of the part 4 by deleting the words education grants and bursary awards and substituting therefore with bursary and scholarship awards. Honorable Speaker, the bill is amended by deleting clause 19A 3 in its entirety. Also clause 10 of the bill is amended as follows. Clause 10(1) is amended by deleting in its entirety and substituting therefore with an application form as set out under Form A of the second schedule for the grant of full scholarship and bursary under Section 6 of the Act shall be obtained online from the county website and at the designated pickup points by an eligible applicant. Clause 10(2) is amended by deleting in its entirety. The rationale for deleting is that the same has been provided for the clause 10(1) to avoid repetition. Clause 10(7) of the bill is deleted in its entirety. Honorable Speaker, the bill is amended and clause 12 by deleting in its entirety. The rationale for deleting the provision is that the same is already provided for the Principal Act of Section 25(1) and B. The bill is amended at clause 13 as follows. Section 27A is amended by deleting in its entirety and substituting therefore with the following words. An applicant or any resident of any of the county may in writing relay their dissatisfaction, grievance, protest, or complaint to the committee for failure to receive an award or relating to an award to a particular beneficiary as per the list published under Section 27. Honorable Speaker, that is the committee. Honorable Speaker, that is the committee finding. Allow me now to call upon Honorable Rotich Ezra, who is the member of the Committee of Education, to second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, before I second, to give the overview of the same, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, it was a detailed discussion by the committee, Mr. Speaker, on matters that touches on the amendment of this bill, Mr. Speaker. And we put into consideration each and every aspect that is required in order that this bill goes through, Mr. Speaker. We add that public participation, putting into consideration the views of the public, and even we were able to receive the memoranda, Mr. Speaker, by the members of the public. And Mr. Speaker, there were quite a number of, it was purely grammatical errors that were there a bit, Mr. Speaker, but we managed to sit down and have a discussion that we finally had this kind of amendment, Mr. Speaker. You can see clearly, Mr. Speaker, that in this act, Mr. Speaker, there are quite a number of details that we were able to propose as the committee as we proceed to the Committee of the Whole House, Mr. Speaker. And as we hide this House to support this amendment bill, Mr. Speaker, I can clearly mention quite a number of things that we were able to discuss as the committees, Mr. Speaker. One of them was on the aspect of redress committee, Mr. Speaker. In the main act, Mr. Speaker, it was mentioning the word subcommittee. But ideally, when we talk of a subcommittee, Mr. Speaker, sometimes it reduces the powers. The decisions made by the main committee can easily supersede the decisions made by this subcommittee. That's why, Mr. Speaker, we had to have it as a full committee by the name Complaint Redress Committee, Mr. Speaker. Another thing, Mr. Speaker, was on the aspect of fund. Mr. Speaker, there was a little bit some issues on that part of having this as a fund. That's why, Mr. Speaker, we are proposing to be called a scheme. Mr. Speaker, that's why we are proposing that this act is amended by deleting the word education fund, deleting the word fund, and substituting it with the word scheme. Also, Mr. Speaker, we had to consider, Because initially, Mr. Speaker, we were talking of percentages, Mr. Speaker. But because of some, the PFM Act, as provided for by PFM Act, Mr. Speaker, we didn't allow a situation whereby we are using the percentages. That's why we had to have a specific figure given in that situation, Mr. Speaker. That's why we had the changes from the percentage that we were having before, which we are amending it to have the current in terms of figures, Mr. Speaker. Also, Mr. Speaker, as provided for in the PFM Act, it's allowed that when we have a scheme or a fund in a different case, Mr. Speaker, it's allowed we have administrative cost of the same, Mr. Speaker. That's why we have capped it at 3% of that budget that we will approve for this, Mr. Speaker. That's why we call upon this House, Mr. Speaker. We support this amendment to ensure that we have speed processes in order to ensure that our people are accessing the said bursary, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, this is a crucial amendment that we call upon the House. We discuss, we deliberate on it, and ensure that we manage to pass it the way it is, Mr. Speaker. There was also that aspect of list of beneficiaries, Mr. Speaker, which was crucial. Because, initially, Mr. Speaker, there was the powers, or rather the list, could have been altered by somebody. But here, Mr. Speaker, the list that has been compiled by the redress committee and the whole committee, Mr. Speaker, it cannot be held out by any other person, Mr. Speaker. But initially, even the CEC in charge of a docket, maybe CEC in charge of finance, could sit down and add or subtract some names. But here, what the committee has done, has compiled from each and every word, that is final to ensure that this scheme is acted upon, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, as the member of this committee, Mr. Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I'll therefore to propose that the Nandi County Education Fund Amendment Bill 2024 be read the second time. I think the debate is now on. We can be able to deliberate over the same. Honorable member from Kaptumo Kaboy, Honorable Isaac Mosbey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute and support the report by the committee where I belong. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, looking at or listening to our chairman present the report on the amendment, you will realize that apart from the issues that had been raised earlier on some of the gaps in the law, the amendment of 2023, NASEF Amendment 2023, it was clear that there were so many other very good things in the law which we did not lose by repealing the 2023 the act that we had to repeal. It gave us an opportunity also to look at all the other possible areas of trouble which we ably dealt with. Like even the example, one example that that had been raised as being uncertain was the definition of a parent. And we expanded that to even include a person, a guardian for this case, so that if you've been having a child or you've been staying with a child because of the unfortunate nature maybe of the background, that child shall be able, because we realize that many times when we go to the ground to issue the bursaries, you realize that even those who are deserving don't even come up to receive those bursaries. So whoever is responsible for that child can help this child or can help this beneficiary to access these bursaries of our county. Now, again, the member, while seconding, has explained very well, and even the chairman himself in presenting the report about the redress committee. Many times, after issuing the bursaries, the complaints would be there. But in the past, it had been difficult to address those complaints. So we were very clear that a committee known as Redress or Complaints Committee is created, and this committee is going to deal with the emerging complaints and deal with those complaints conclusively. In the previous law, the Redress Committee would forward the findings to the CEC, who would either decide to stick with the recommendations of the Redress Committee or even just rubbish those recommendations by the Redress Committee and go ahead and even alter the list of the successful applicants or beneficiaries. So we are saying in this Redress Committee, their work is going to be final, or rather their finding is going to be final. And if one is not satisfied with the outcome of that Redress Committee, then one has liberty, like every other Kenyan, to even go to the court, as opposed to the CCM being in charge of, or rather deciding the fate of a particular complaint. So, Mr. Speaker, these final amendments of 2024 is actually, it is a foolproof. It is going to be foolproof. No one is going to raise more issues out of the law, because from the input from the public and even the input from even the honorable members, we've come up with a report, or we've come up with an amended law which is going to cure the challenges that would have otherwise come out of, or rather as a result of the process of issuing the bursaries. The change, like the fellow member has said, from Nandi County Education Fund to Nandi County Education Scheme is going to remove the contradiction. Remember, in a fund, there has to be a rotation, maybe of the monies that had been issued. But now, since we all know, bursaries are usually given and they are never refunded. So in this case, we felt that it was necessary to remove the word fund and replace it with the scheme. So, Mr. Speaker, the other thing that had been raised earlier on to object, and it is something that stopped this process, is about the committee, the NASEF committee. I think now it is going to be called NASES committee. It was to have or rather they were to, the CEC had the liberty to extend upon expiry of the term. The CEC was at liberty to extend the term of the members by up to 6 months. The public and even us in the committee and even honorable members saw no wisdom in that provision and felt that the membership of the committee should never be extended upon expiry of their term. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge these honorable members of this House who've always supported us in this committee to just consider this presentation, this amendment, and pass it the way it is without any amendments. We are alive as a committee membership that there are quite a number of matters that needs attention. For instance, while we were giving out the bursaries the other day, we realized that those students in the universities and even in colleges, they are themselves adults and may not be able to even travel so that they can be issued with, or rather they can participate in the open barazas where the bursaries were being issued. So progressively we agreed that going forward, we still have room, maybe even after 6 months, with the input of experts, so that a student, say in Jomo Kenyatta University, a student in a very far away university like Pwani University, can be able to apply for bursary and be able to be issued with that bursary without necessarily having to travel back all the way from Mombasa to Nandi, where they are going to spend. The transport currently is around 6,000 to and fro to come and be issued with, say, a bursary of 10,000. We saw that as a membership and felt that it should be time. Let us issue these bursaries, but going forward, say next year, by next year we are issuing the bursaries, we should be in a position to consider an online application and consideration so that the students, especially those in colleges, can access these funds. Otherwise, for the matters like the minimum amounts to be issued, we felt that a day scholar can get a minimum of 5,000. Otherwise, it can go up as the need may be. Those also in secondary schools, previously the previous law had not included the mention of secondary, by the way. But now it is clearly in our law, or rather in our bill, and it is going to be, for the one in boarding school, it is going to be at least 10,000 shillings. This one removes the arbitrary decisions that were usually being made back in the villages, where a group of people might decide to say, let us share this 10,000 amongst 5 students, where each will take, say, 2,000, which to us, we felt that was not going to make a difference. But since there was an absence of that law, the law is now in place and it is going to do us good. I support Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Member from Olesos, Isaiah Maina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the process of amending the law, which is timely. Probably it should have come a little bit earlier, But under the circumstances, Honorable Speaker, I think I must thank the committee for moving with speed and getting us out of the morass that we found ourselves in, considering the rigorousness of the office that is the control of budget. So this comes as a result of some misgivings or concerns that the control of budget had with this document. And Honorable Speaker, I would like to make the following observations. That whereas I've heard the committee talking about changing the name of the fund into a scheme, and looking at the 7 issues that the control of budget had highlighted, there was no mention about a problem with the name. So much as probably it could have been there somewhere else, but at least the information I have, the issue was more on the sources of funds. And she was saying that under normal circumstances, which, Honorable Speaker, I must confess, before this, I wasn't very much aware of, that any fund should state, the CCM concerned should state that the fund will not rely on exchequer issues continuously. So I do not know whether from what the chairman has presented to this House, whether they have taken care of that particular problem in as far as the sources of the funds, so that if they will continue to emanate from the exchequer fully, then probably the CEO, the control of budget, might still have a similar problem. There was the issue of the account and where it should be held, and that it should be held in at the central bank. I want to believe, because I have been asking for the copy, Honorable Speaker, I want to believe that this has been addressed, so that right now, going forward, the account shall be held at the central bank and not in a commercial bank. I also have some other 2 observations to make to this Honorable House, Honorable Speaker, regarding the question of bursaries and scholarships. I am happy that we had a small segment of some few students from each ward being given something that is close to full, what you could now call a scholarship, because probably the fees are being cleared at the rate of, say, 50,000. My concern would be the sustainability of the same, because if come next round, we would still maintain those students that we've picked and pick another set. So I do not know whether the committee and probably ourselves, we could begin thinking about it. How far can we go before we get into some kind of quagmire, because maybe the resources we required might be too overstretched. So this is a matter that probably I would like to call upon the House to deliberate upon as we go along. It will not stop this process, but it would be important to note. The other issue is how the parents or the recipients of these monies have been handling themselves. I must confess, Honorable Speaker, that in as much as we would like to have the most needy getting the funds or the support, you will find that the citizens have developed their own, could you call it formula, whereby then they would say, you got it this year, so next year it will be another. And then next year they say, you got it last year, so another person gets it. And I'm thinking, so we have people who are very poor. They are poor this year, and they will be poor next year. They deserve this year, they will deserve the next year. Unfortunately, just because of that local arrangement, then the people who succeed to get it one time cannot get it until the entire group of needy people get. So that's what obtains in Lesotho. I do not know about the rest of the wards. And I have had people complaining bitterly when they miss out. But of course they still say, you know, it was an arrangement, it is a formula that we have developed amongst ourselves. So this is also a matter that I think would be of interest for all of us. Probably to think about how it is that we can move away, or at least we can reduce the dependence of our people on this fund by making them more economically empowered. There should be an exit strategy. Because otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I do not see how it is that we can continue being able to fund continuously, exponentially, considering that the population keeps on increasing and the needs will increase accordingly. So as I support, I would wish that the committee probably takes a final look at those issues, the particular issues that the controller of budget flagged out, and ensure that they are completely answered. And at the same time, probably be careful. I know that we may not, because I didn't suggest an amendment, be careful so that it can be defined what a scheme is. Because it might be likely that the controller budget might just say, I don't know what animal that is. Probably she understood the animal that is the fund. Now there is an animal called a scheme. So let's see how it is that we can work on this so that the funds can get to our children as soon as possible. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member from Terik.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this bill. Let me applaud the team from the Committee of Education for having moved speedily to consider the issue. First, I would like to applaud the team. Second, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have seen the bill clearly as stated the areas that have been contagious. And more so, I can't repeat the part that my members have said, but that has catched my eye is that the law has now outlined the disability the members and the group, whereby the child, the parent will benefit from this. The other time, we had an issue about the bill concerning the people with disability. Secondly, I think also they have addressed the issue of day scholars they have now been accommodated. The other time when we were issuing out the bursary with the members of the public, they were concerned about the day scholars members who deserve to get the benefit of this fund. Mr. Speaker, sir, also, the members have outlined clearly that the beneficiaries of the bursary will be displayed on all public domain face, and any member dissatisfied, the committee has been formed, whereby someone can challenge, and thereafter he can be satisfied. And also on the beneficiaries list will be available within the county website, within the offices of education offices, and also within the display of our areas of jurisdiction within our wards. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, says that this bill is needed at this particular time because we've the schools are now open. Most of the children are at home, and this bill is due for the members that have done good work. I stand to support the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member from Koyamboria, Honorable Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to support the motion as a member in that committee, Vice Chair. According to our findings, as said by our EPO Chair, is that there was a concern by the member from Lesos, and I can give my input in support to that. There is the issue of overseas studies, which has been deleted in entirety. So it has cured your concerns, Honorable Member. Secondly, there was, in the Act of 2016, there were a proposal for partnering with the HELP loan. Currently, in this amendment bill of 2024, we have deleted it in its entirety, say that the issue of the sources of funds, because the issue of in control of budget, they were saying that how can we know that how the revolving fund concerning the HELP loan, are the student be able to pay back when you have given them a loan? So as a committee, we have addressed that issue by deleting it completely. Lastly, we have done away with the issue of the redress committee, whereby in case there was the CEC can change the list of beneficiaries. In the current amendment, the redress committee is final unless it can be challenged in court. So I urge honorable members that let us support this amendment bill to enable the students back at home to get their dues, that is the bursaries. There is the definition which you have deleted concerning the scholarships, because scholarship means that it should be, when we say full scholarship, the student should be paid for fees and maybe other items needed. So in this amendment, we have deleted the word scholarship and put it the term bursaries. So what we are giving in this scheme in the amendment is bursaries. We don't have any full scholarship or such a term as scholarship as Nandi County. So I urge members that let us support this motion as it is, say that the students back at home will get their bursaries. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Honorable member from Songo Soba, Honorable Chelule.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance to contribute on this motion. I support the motion subject to some reservation concerning the distribution of the bursary amount amongst the wards in the county. What was distributed recently was 120 million shillings, divided by 30 wards, which means each ward got 4 million shillings. To me, that was a very unfair distribution, considering
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
considering the
Point of order,
Honorable
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chelule, you may remain seated as he prosecutes his point of order under what standing order, Mosbey?
Point of order number 90, Mr. Speaker.
Well,
Is it in order for the honorable member from Songo Soba to mislead the House that indeed we are discussing the matters of the latest distribution of bursaries as opposed to the report on the proposed amendments? Because, Mr. Speaker, my feeling is that if the honorable member is not satisfied with the amendments we've made, he would rather, instead of giving false facts about, or rather false information about the current amended, the amendment bill, he would rather suggest amendments and not really to falsify the facts that are there. Because as we know, the bursaries are distributed equally. And that is what was there even in the law that we've repealed across the wards. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chelule, I believe that you have a copy of the report. And
I am for equity. I am not for equality.
well, Honorable Chelule,
Yes.
and that is the reason I was just confirming that you had an opportunity to go through the report when it was tabled in the morning. Apparently, you've not proposed any amendments. But that notwithstanding, Honorable Chelule, immediately after the second reading, you still have an opportunity to prosecute your proposed amendments to the committee concerned before the committee of the whole House. You may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, my only concern was about equity in terms of distribution amongst the beneficiaries. A ward with a very large population like Liboni, 80,000 people, cannot receive the same amount as a ward of about 30,000 people. There are even some wards with 20,000 people in this county. So that was my problem. Yeah.
It's okay, Honorable Chelule, and I'm hoping that you've taken the advice that I've offered to you.
Yes.
That you can make use of that particular window and appear before the sectoral committee on education and still be able to prosecute your amendments before a report is tabled to this House during the committee of the whole House.
But most obliged, Mr. Speaker. I will comply with that.
Honorable members, you seem to have Honorable Chairperson, will you wish to make a right of reply before I put the question?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, being the chair and the entire Committee of Education and Vocation Training Committee, is grateful to the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk, to the County Assembly for the unwavering support accorded during the committee sitting and deliberation. Honorable Speaker, I also extend my utmost appreciation to the Committee of Education for the for the support for the maximum effort during the committee during the preparation of the report in the committee finding. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank the entire House for the support they give to ensure that we bring to this honorable house to this honorable house the right report. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Honorable members, I'll now put the question that the Nandi County Education Fund Amendment Bill 2024 be read the second time. Will as many as of similar opinion say ayes?
Aye.
And will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Honorable members, before the next order, I want to draw your attention to the provisions of Standing Order 127, where it states that where a bill has been read a second time, and before the commencement of the Committee of the whole County Assembly, more than 10 amendments have been proposed to it, which in the opinion of the Speaker require harmonization. The Speaker may direct that any member proposing an amendment to the bill to appear before the relevant sectoral committee dealing with the subject matter of the bill to present his or her proposed amendments, and the committee shall submit a report to the County Assembly on the result of the exercise before the Committee of the whole County Assembly is taken. Therefore, members, giving leave to the honorable members to make use of that particular standing order. Next order.
Order number 9, motion.
The chairperson, the Committee on Public Investments and Accounts Committee, Honorable Hassan Kagoni. Honorable members, Standing Order number 50 talks on the time of moving motions, and particularly 53, where it says that where no member has a motion at the time specified by or under these standing orders, such motion shall not again be published in the order paper during the same session, except with leave of the Speaker. Honorable members, the chairperson is not present to move this present motion. That notwithstanding, honorable members, I direct that the report be forwarded back to the House Business Committee for reallocation of time. Next order.
Order number 10, adjournment.
Honorable members, there being no any other prayer on the order of business today, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, 2:30 p.m.